morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to Racing-Leagues.com's coverage of the V8 Supercars Championship. This is the third of our pre-season events. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to Racing-Leagues.com's coverage of the V8 Supercars from Laguna, Seca today. This is the third of our pre-season events leading up to the start of the second part of the season in September of this year. Alongside me this morning, we've got Chris Stevens. Hi, Chris. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm excellent. Looking forward to some good action here on track as well, which is probably one of my all-time favourite tracks. Don't know what you think of the track, Chris.
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic. It's top quality, never fails to disappoint.
Yeah, thinking back of the Zanardi pass at the corkscrew in the 97 or 98, I believe it was, it certainly throws up some memories for many people out there.
Oh, the one for me is always it's always going to be Rossi and Stoner going side by side into there in 2008. Incredible battle.
Yeah, and then it ended in the sort of final left-hand corner as well, where Stoner ran off wide onto the gravel and cost him that win. I think was it.
Yeah. I mean, not for want of trying though. He pulled out a stunning move on Rossi on turn one as well. So, yeah, that one's the one that sticks out for me.
Definitely. A bit of an unusual choice for V8 Supercars. They never ran around here, so it should be interesting to see how these beasts tackle that corkscrew in particular. Very heavy cars, lots of power, very little tire. Should make for some exciting battles.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a good reason they normally run these cars around here, and that is just because they're a big handful at the best of times, and this track is difficult in any car that you drive. So it's going to be a really big challenge to be consistent for a start, and also just to get a lap time out of it at all.
Interesting as well, I'll just bring up the format for everyone for this event. We've got two races today. We've got a 30-minute practice, which we're in right now, followed by a 20-minute qualifying session. I've put up a top 10 shootout there, but I don't believe we're having a top 10 shootout today. We've got an 18-lap race 1. You can use any tyre compound in race 1, and there is no compulsory pit stop, so you don't need to pit if you don't want to. Race 2, however, is 42 laps with a reverse grid start, and there is a compulsory pit stop. And you must use both tyre compounds today as well, so there's no running on just the soft tyres to get that extra speed. You must use the hard tyre as well. It'll be interesting to see what they choose for race 1, Chris. I would think normally they would run with the soft tyre for the shorter race. But just looking at the lap times and the drop off that people are having at the moment, so we've got Kai Turner out in front on I think it's a 1:21.568, but the following laps after that are back into the 22s. So it's quite a drop off on this. It's very abrasive looking track from what I can see from the V8s.
Yeah, and I mean, even a session leader at the moment, Kai Turner, is proving it very difficult. Just been watching him, and the rear end of his car sliding about all over the place. So it is, a very difficult track to keep your tires alive. It's a lot of traction zones. It's a lot of high energy load going through the tires. So to be honest, I'd be amazed if they use even the soft tire for the first race. I would say it would be the harder compound all the way.
You'd like to think so, but some of the drivers, in particular the likes of Brett Clark, Dan Stevens, are very light on the tyres. I know from experience that Kai Turner is very hard on the car. He really drags it around. So possibly, if they do go with the soft for the first race, Kai will probably follow them as well. But you'll see him drop off towards the back end of the race, I would imagine. And as we've seen through turn 1 there with the 408 car was all over the place coming through there. He lost traction at the rear, then the front wanted to snap as well. So the sort of elevations on this track as well are putting a real pressure on the front of that car, because you've got the heavy weight of that engine over the front axle. You've got the small tyre patch as well. It's really going to be a challenge to get a decent race out of this for these drivers.
Yeah, undulations are a bad thing if you want to keep your car stable. Any kind of undulation, whether it's uphill or downhill, it's going to unsettle at least one end of the car. If the drivers had it their way, every single circuit would be completely flat and completely smooth to get the best times out of it. But That's not really what we want to see, and that's why we love Laguna as well.
Definitely. So we're just on board with Wayne Pengelly now, coming up, and he's actually going to the pit. So that was unfortunate, shall we say? Let's see if
We've
we can
got
get
Dan
some.
Stevens coming into turn 1 though.
Excellent. Let's jump on board with Dan. So this is our current V8 Supercars champion. So who better to take us around a lap with Laguna? Coming right into this right-hander, he's grabbed third there. A lot of understeer there as well. He's going
That's
straight off in the gravel.
that's such a typical turn 2 error there from Dan. It's just the turn into that corner is so much later than you'd expect it to be. It's almost like the final corner at Road America. You got to pitch in so late, otherwise you are just going to understeer straight off.
Yeah, that's true. If you try and take an early apex, you're going to pay for it by the middle of the corner, and you'll be out onto the gravel just as we've seen there. So we're heading up the back now. Dan's on a warm-up lap from the looks of it as well. He's taking a nice slow, getting some of the dirt off that tires as well. Just coming up to the corkscrew now.
This is going to be fun to watch them all filing through here on lap 1 of the race.
Definitely, they're taking a lot of curb on the outside there as well. I imagine that's the only way you can get the V8 through there safely.
As long as he isn't damaging the body panels as well.
Yeah, we're into the second to last corner. Hopefully he goes for a lap. No, he's gone for the pits as well, so that's handy. It is practice after all, so we'll see what we get.
Oh, it's deep, sorry, I moved myself out.
That was Ian Hannon there making a guest appearance on the commentary. So we've got Kai Turner now, so let's jump on board with Kai. We're just coming in the left-hander, heading up towards the corkscrew now as well, up that massive hill. Pitch it over to the left, get the curb on the right here at the 300-meter board. Getting it slowed down nicely, take the apex there. He's got a very nice line through there, Chris.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to feel the need to take as much of the inside curb on the right-hand side as, say, Darren Goosey did ahead of him. So I wonder if that's going to maybe give him an advantage in qualifying. And also indeed the race, because it will most likely be kind of on the tyres as well.
Okay, so we're on board now for this lap of Laguna Seca. This should be a hot one, hopefully going across the start-finish straight, aiming towards the left-hand side here of the hill. It's a blind apex. Down into the left-hander, it's a double apex left-hand corner. 1, 2, take plenty.
You always get horrible understeer in the middle of that as well.
Yeah, just then we're coming into the right-hander here now as well. He's taking a nice curb through there, curb on the exit as well. Plenty of power down. And this is a bit of a tricky corner as well. You can go in there too hot and run off very easily.
You almost got to coast it through there and just wait for the car to settle.
Definitely nice and late on the brakes just before the 200-meter board. The rear stepping out there as well. You can just see the attitude of the car. There's the rear comes out. Back marker on the left.
That's a great corner. I love that. You just flick it in any car, no matter what you're driving. It's just a great flick.
Yeah, I think the camber helps you a lot there as well, doesn't it? It allows you to really thrash the car through it.
He's really pushing it through corkscrew as well. I think you come through this left-hander, which is just a joy in anything.
Coming up to the right-hander now, he's got Wayne Pengelly in front of him at the moment as well. And it's just shaking its head there through there, so he's got a lot of traction brake off on the rear. Coming across the start-finish straight now, let's see what this lap time brings up. And that was 1:21.349, so that's a pretty good lap round here. In fact, it's the fastest lap of the session at the moment.
That was a good lap then.
Definitely so. Just keeping an eye on it. We've got Brett Clark 2.24, 6 seconds behind as well. Brett is out on track. We're just following around, and you can see the attitude of this car as well. Brett's really bringing its neck to try and get a lap time out of it from the looks of it.
Yeah, and he was just 0.02 of a second off Kai before that lap. Now he's 0.2 down, so we'll see what he can do. But yeah, absolutely, the car does not look entirely settled. I mean, we were watching him in DTMs last night, weren't we, Stephen? It's the same attitude. He is pushing 100% all the time. He doesn't know what a cool down lap is. You know, he is just constantly on it. and trying to drag a lap time out of it as well.
Yeah, it's good to see a new car for Brett and SRT this season as well, with the Volvo switching over from the Nissan. So, interested to see how they go as well. But he doesn't look like he's lost any of his speed.
No, absolutely not. I mean, second in session at the moment, and the closest challenger after this is Wayne Pengilly, and he's 2 seconds off of Kai Turner's pace.
Yeah, I think they're waiting for the track to rubber up a little bit as well. I'm just looking at the overall outright pace. Oh, and he's just gone off there as well, just at the corkscrew, so that was a bit unfortunate. And back on again. So looking at the outright lap time at the moment, 120.839 is held by Brett Clark previous to this session. So they've got a little bit to go yet to get up to where they were earlier in the week.
Yeah, I mean, we're only a few minutes into practice. There's not going to be an awful lot of rubber down there. That's the wonderful thing about R Factor 2 is that it does feature the real road, so that the track actually does rubber up as your sessions progress, so that when you actually get into the race, you got the best grip out there.
Yeah, absolutely. You can actually just see that through the corkscrew there. You can see the race line starting to form, and offline I can see some marbles as well. So later in the race in particular, they want to be careful of getting anywhere near those marbles because you'll be heading off track very quickly with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I remember having quite an amusing moment in a sim race that I did a couple of years ago when it was in a Porsche Carrera Cup car. I was going in, locked up both fronts immediately as soon as I hit the brakes, went straight into the gravel, but still made some sort of vain attempt to turn into the corner, had the wheel upside down, and then I was pressing the left paddle to try and go down the gears, but obviously because the wheel was upside down, it turned out to be going up the gears.
That's always handy, yeah. Easily done, easily done.
No, I don't think these guys will be making quite the same mistakes.
Hopefully not. There has been a bit of an update to the... Oh, we've just got Colin Bruns on screen there as well. He's almost lost it on exit of the corner there as well. There's been a bit of an update, and we see a Volvo spear off as well, so there's plenty of action here.
That's Brett Clark.
That's a bit unusual. He is really, really pushing at the minute to try and get that extra couple of tenths out.
Was he maybe just caught up by Colin coming back onto the line there, I wonder?
I would possibly. They were quite close together there, and it did look like Colin was about to lose it. So if Brett has changed his line to avoid what he thought was going to be an accident, it could have led to that little mistake there as well. So unfortunately he's going to have to drag that car back to the pits because in this series there's full damage, and if you damage a car, you have to get it back to the pits to get it repaired.
Yeah, he's run off at every corner he's trying to turn into. He's just coming to the corkscrew now, which would be interesting. But yeah, it looks like he's going to have to pit for repairs.
Yeah, I would say that car's damaged. He's at least damaged the tire with that lock-up anyway, which is the last thing you need. On these V8 Supercars, and yeah, he's running wide everywhere at the moment. Yeah, definitely some issue at the front of that car from the looks of it. We should expect to see him dive for the pits, and there we have it, straight in. One thing I suppose for our viewers to note is the tyres on these cars are actually quite complex as well, so they give you plenty of grip initially, but if you abuse them, you lose that grip very quickly, and you will lose it tyre by tyre as well. So if you keep locking up one of the wheels, for instance, that will keep with you for the whole race as well until you change that tyre. And like any flat spot, once you lock it once, you're going to find it every single lap after that as well.
Yeah, it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, because if you keep pushing on that set of tires, you're gonna keep locking it, keep damaging it. But then if you try and extend that stint, eventually you're just going to drop away from the lap time. So it's a really fine balance that you got to find when it comes to your strategy.
Absolutely, Chris. It's vitally important that they've thought this race through before they even turn a wheel, and understand all the permutations as well from anything, and then obviously factor in any accidents, incidents, or any of the rest of it.
Yeah, at least one thing they haven't got to worry about is a safety car.
So far, there can be one in the race, and we've had one in most races this year as well.
Well, there you go. Maybe they do have to figure that in. Actually, this being Laguna, there is quite a high possibility of that, actually.
Yeah, turn one off the start can be a bit of a nightmare. People running in too hot, brakes aren't warmed up, brain's not warmed up. We've seen worse before.
I think sometimes it's more a case of the brains not being warmed up first.
Absolutely, especially the reverse grid races as well. It does prove a bit of a challenge for the drivers trying to get through from there as well.
Reverse grid racing is just fantastic because if you are, a driver that is constantly running up the front of the field, then you get into that, mentality of how to approach turn one, which is obviously going to be with a lot more speed than you would say if you were starting at the back of the green, like 10th or 11th or 12th. So to effectively force a driver at some stage to start from the back of the grid, it does, make these drivers more complete, and it also spruces up the racing as well.
Absolutely, it definitely does as well. It teaches them a bit of patience as well to try and get through the traffic. If you start bumping and banging here, your car's going to be damaged and you're going to be heading for the pits. So it looks like we've got a half decent field for this pre-season round. We're up to 12 drivers, a little down on our normal 20, 24 or so, but it's only to be expected. It's just a test session before the season gets started effectively. Although try telling that to the likes of Kai Turner, Brett Clark, Dan Stevens, they'll all be running for the win as hard as they can.
Yeah, this one will mean just as much to them because a win is a win at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Just watching Clark on screen now, he is really thumping this car around. I've just watched him hit a curb there and lift the two driver's side wheels right off the ground as well. So he's leaving nothing on the table there at the moment.
Yeah, that was just into turn 12 after the corkscrew.
That's right, we got a spinner at the corkscrew as well. The Triple Eight car has just spun. Of Trevor Dickinson there as well. He's just coming back on now.
Oh, he's going to come up right in front of Clark. Oh, God, that was close.
That was close. At least it's only practice. Do that in qualifying, there'll be a few words over the radio.
I mean, Dickinson there, it's a really easy thing to do at the corkscrew because in even the most planted single seaters, the corkscrew is an absolute nightmare of a corner. So in these things, they're going to be a handful.
Definitely. It did look a little bit there like the brake balance was a little bit too much to the rear in that Triple Eight car as well, because he seemed to lock the rears very early. And there's Clark off on the outside again. Wondering if he's struggling a little bit with setup, Chris. It's not looking as glued to the road as it normally is.
No, he's had a few adventures, shall we say, so far this session.
Definitely, and we've just got his teammate has just joined as well, Bert van Jaarsveld. So let's see if they can get their heads together and get this car worked out a little bit. I do know from driving with Brett for a few years, he gets very frustrated if he's not top or if he can't seem to get to the top, and I think that's reflected in his driving so far today. So
he's just gone into the wall as well. The exit of turn 5.
Yeah, that's definitely needs to get that under control. But one thing that's overlooked sometimes in this sport, sim racing, is the value of a teammate as well. So I would imagine we'll see his teammate get on here as well, and they'll work together and get the car settled down a little bit, and he won't feel as he has to push every single lap, hopefully.
Yeah, well, now we've got Bert in there as well. We've got a reference, especially to compare Brett with. So we'll see if he's having the same sort of struggles that Brett's having.
Definitely. Chris, sorry, one thing I should have told you before. If you press the tab key on your keyboard, you'll be able to see the driver names, if that helps.
Oh, yeah, I've got that on.
Excellent. So you've got Matthew Mitz on screen now in the Ford Falcon FGX. Matthew's a bit slow to start last season, but come the Endurance Cup, he was getting a lot faster, moving towards the front of the field a little bit. He's some 5 seconds off the pace at the moment, but I think he's just done a bit of a warm-up lap at the moment, so we'll see how he goes on this lap. He's coming across the start-finish straight now, and we're heading it down over into turn 1.
He's got Goosey and another car behind him as well. So
yep.
He'll be filling up his mirrors. I wonder if he'll feel obliged to get out of the way.
Yeah, Whisper.
Yeah, hang on 1 second.
Yeah, just a bit of a rush to get in. And yeah, sorry it's a bit late now that we're going to start quali already.
Brett, you got me. Can you get
Yeah,
Brett
I've
to
been
kill
doing
his whisper button? He's
some
on
couple of laps. I got it down to 21.5.
Yeah, just take me off
Yeah.
whisper. That'll be cool. Sorry there, Chris. We had the SRT team radio blending through.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So just getting them to remove me from the team radio channel. That's something we'll feature during the season with the various teams for our viewers as well. We'll pick a team per round and we'll get in on their team radio as well, so you can get that extra dimension as to what's actually happening with the drivers, the thinking process, how they get the lap times up, etc. So it adds that extra little bit of fascination to it for me anyway, to understand how these guys are actually thinking, where they are in the race at any time as well. And it's fascinating sometimes, Chris, to realise that these guys are driving the wheels off the thing and still thinking about the next pit stop, the next corners, what their teammates doing, etc.
I think Formula One's just proved to us, hasn't it, that we do very much value team radio as spectators. So I think team radio is a wonderful thing.
Absolutely. What a dumb idea by Formula One to try and close that avenue down. I do understand you shouldn't be telling the driver how to drive the car, but everything else should be open.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, don't get any of that in sim racing.
Exactly. There's no one telling these guys how to drive the cars.
No, nor should they be. I mean, they may look up the odd YouTube tutorial.
Oh, definitely.
Brave modern world.
Definitely they'll have a go. I think the one thing that, especially with these V8 supercars, that counts as experience, gets you time. Seat time, you cannot beat that.
Absolutely. I mean, a V8 supercar is unique in a way in its in its weight and its power and relative grip and downforce. It's got a lot more power than it does cornering ability. So any time you can spend inside the car to get your head around that is going to be crucial, because the way that most racing cars are designed these days is that their cornering ability exceeds their power.
Absolutely, yeah. It's nice to see some proper old school. We just got a bit of an issue in the pits there. Matthew Mitz hasn't been able to turn the car, so wonder if he's picked up a little bit of damage somewhere out there. Just didn't get full lock on.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen the best do it. I've seen David Coulthard do it in Australia in '96, was it?
That's right, I believe, yeah.
So yeah, don't worry about it, Matt. It happens to the best of us.
Definitely, we've got. I believe Troy is joining us in the commentary booth.
And our guest commentator Dakota.
Welcome, Troy. Glad you could join us. We're just in the practice session now. I think we're about to head towards qualifying any minute now, from the looks of it. All the cars are parked up, so that would suggest we're about to roll over to the qualifying session. I'll just pop up the format, everybody, to remind them. So this should be a 20-minute qualifying session, hopefully.
Looking at the times here, it's been quite a tight one.
It has been quite a tight one. We were just, Chris and myself, were just discussing there as well, that they're not quite hitting the lap times that they were earlier in the week. So we have Clark on a 20.8, but I think that was a 21.2 was the fastest lap time. Was that right, Chris, in that last one?
21.3
so,
for Turner it was.
So we just got the drivers heading out now. Kai Turner's first out on this one in the 408 car. The very long pit exit at Laguna for some reason on this track. The pit lane speed limiter doesn't come off until you turn left.
Have we discussed the new qualifying, Steve?
No, go for it.
Well, as a lot of people would be aware that, once you start qualifying, there's no sort of reset button in real life. So we've decided to take on that similar format here at Racing-Leagues.com and put in place a parc fermé type situation where it is, if you escape out from an accident or you want to make a change, that's it. Your session is now officially over. If you decide to come back on the track, you will start rear of grid.
Definitely, that puts more value in the practice sessions as well to get people to actually think about what they're doing rather than just run for a lap time in practice. Get the car set up for qualifying and potentially the race as well, because once practice is over, you can't spend too much time playing with things.
No, definitely not. And I think in the weeks leading up to an event, you'll see a lot of guys. I know myself and Kai have been spending a lot of time in the last couple of days trying to get something for a race set up to where the car's going to be gentle on its tyres but still have decent pace as well.
Perfect. So we've just got Kai Turner coming across the start-finish straight to start this lap now as well. So should be plenty of tyre grip down now. So it should be a decent lap time. He's just coming down into turn 1. Get the apex on the left there. No lockups whatsoever in there as well. It's a very nice clean line through there.
That was a beautiful run through there. Really smooth. Just one turn of the wheel. Very nicely done. Oh, bit of a slide on the exit too, though.
Yeah, just noticed that he's lost a few tenths through there.
That was one thing we were saying, or Kai was saying that you're struggling with in this car, was just rear end grip. And then we'd sort of get the balance to have good drive in the rear, and then all of a sudden we'd lose turning too. So I don't know if he's been mucking around with that car again today, but we seem to have found something last night. But yeah, it looks like he might have been trying to chase that rear end a little bit more.
Yeah, I think all the drivers have been complaining about that. There's been a bit of an update to the V8 Supercars for this next season, which seems to have made them a little bit loose at the rear end. That was a beautiful line through the corkscrew. He actually took off in the second part of it, 2 wheels off the ground.
That corkscrew is absolutely lethal. If you don't come through in the right sequence there through that turn, the rear end's unloading massively and you're going right round it. And we've got someone over already. It's Ian Hannon.
Oh my.
Bit of an unusual place to have an accident there. He must have ran off and hit something, and Kai Turner's come across there with a 1:22.369. That's about a second off his best lap time. So obviously he's going for the banker, get it on the board, and then see what he can do from there on.
Brett's just gone 8 tenths quicker in the first sector, or in the in the first sector.
Yeah, so we just got Brett come through the corkscrew now as well. That car looks very loose at the rear again through there, and a little bit of tire smoke through most of those corners from the looks of it there. He's not leaving anything again.
Brett Clark also fastest in the second sector as well.
There.
Yeah, he goes into the final corner now. Left.
He's really struggling some drive out of that turn.
Across the start finish now, he goes fastest with 1:20.949, 1.4 seconds faster than Kai Turner. Dan Stevens, while we've been watching, has jumped up into 3rd position there, and he's on his 2nd lap now, coming around the back part of the circuit through the left-hander under the bridge into this nice little camber corner there, which you can pull through.
Had a bit of a moment at turn 2 as well. He was just off the track as well.
Interesting to see if that's cost him too much time. Slowed down a lot for the corkscrew there from the looks of it. I wonder if he's backed out of this lap.
Wouldn't surprise me. He was way off the circuit at turn 2.
Yeah, he's probably just getting the tyres back up to temperature at the moment. Kai Turner's gone 0.415 seconds slower than Brett Clark now, so he took a second off his lap time, so he's working up to it. And we've got Dan just crossing the start finish straight now. He's well down on his time at that point. Just take a look at the second of the SRT cars, Bert van Jaarsveld, who's come across the start finish straight, and he's 2nd now, and he's 2.5 seconds down on his last lap. And he wasn't any faster on that lap either, so interested to see if he can pick up the pace a little bit there. I'll tell you what, who I am impressed with most, looking at the, I wish I hadn't said that because he just rolled it, Wayne Pengelly. Commentator's curse straight in.
Oh, team realty.
Yeah, team realism. That's going to cost him. I can see the front splitter lying on the outside of the track, so that's going to be straight back to the pits. He's currently in 3rd position, 1.385 seconds off the lead. He's going to have to be careful with that through the corkscrew. He's got no front downforce whatsoever. Yeah, he's taking it nice and slowly through there, so we'll let him make his way back to pits. We'll pop on and have a look at Kai Turner's in the pits. He's just leaving now for another run at it. Brett Clark's just exited the pits. It does look to me like pole's going to be between Clark and Turner.
Yeah, we got closest challenger to them is Wayne Pengilly, 1.3 off the pace. So yeah, it does look like it's going to be between Brett and Kai. And I don't know what Brett did after that final run in practice, but it's worked, whatever he's done.
Absolutely, seems to have done a little tweak and got the rear settled down a little bit better. It's still oversteering quite a bit from what you can see. He's just done his warm-up lap now. We'll jump in the cockpit with him for this lap, see if there's anything obvious we can spot. Just coming through the corkscrew now. And 13 minutes remaining of this session. I said tyres and brakes are up to temperature. Hopefully the brain's up to temperature. We cross the last corner and onto the start-finish straight, ready for another lap of Laguna Seca.
Good run out of the final corner. It's going to set him up nicely for this lap.
Pulling 6th gear, just hitting the brakes just after the 400 metre board into the left-hander. A lot of lock on there trying to get that car around.
Just seems to carry a little bit more speed than Kai did on his first run.
It's looking very smooth from inside the cockpit. Nothing to worry about so far in this lap.
Oh no!
Put her over.
You spoke too soon, Steve.
I think I'm gonna shut up for a while because that's too.
It's very easy to do here, boys. If you notice those little red apex markers, if the car hits them just slightly on the wrong angle, it is going to send it.
And while we've been watching that, the second of the SRT cars has jumped up into 3rd position, 1.329 seconds off, and he's in the pits now as well. So I imagine he's making a slight adjustment, new set of boots, fuel her up a little bit and get out again for another run. Got Dan Stevens just coming out on track as well, so the current champion down in 5th position. Not somewhere he's going to want to stay for very long, so we'll keep an eye on him as well. So from the top, we've got Brett Clark in the lead. We'll just get the time up there as well. So we've got Brett Clark in the lead, 0.415 seconds ahead of Kai Turner in 2nd. Bert van Jaarsveld in 3rd, 1.329 seconds back. Wim Pengilly 4th, 1.385 seconds, very close between 3rd and 4th there. Dan Stevens in 5th position, 1.452 seconds back. Wayne Dare 6th, 2.221. Bit of an unusual position for Wayno to find himself in. Troy?
Yeah, it is. He's been struggling with this track, and he's actually said that he's not a favourite here. And
then we've got the second of the ASR cars in 7th position, Colin Bruns, 2.8 seconds off. Norman Clark, the Oranga Racing car, 3 seconds back in 8th position. Trevor Dickinson, 3.5 seconds back. Daryl Bennett in the another 888 car, 3.6 seconds back in 10th. Ian Hannon, 3.8 seconds back in 11th. Darren Goosey, 12th. And Matthew Mites is in 13th position. So 4.3 seconds covering the top of the field at the moment, so I'd imagine that'll close up a little bit shortly.
Absolutely, and Kai Turner has just broken the lap record, 1 minute 20.643.
That is a phenomenal lap as well,
and it wasn't even a purple middle sector.
Really, that's so he's got a little bit more to come as well. That's interesting. So that's taken the outright lap record by 2/10 from Brett Clark there. So 0.3606 seconds for Clark to find to challenge Turner. He's got 9 minutes remaining, so it'll be interesting to see if they can if he can get up there. Just following him now, he's in a lot of traffic at the moment as well. There's 2 cars in front, 1 behind. So
this is not ideal.
Yeah, he's gonna catch these in the corkscrew as well. Gonna cost him. That's the 51 car of Goosey in front there, and it got a little bit compromised.
He's not going to. Yeah, he's backed out of it.
They've both
Now
backed out
Darren's
of
going
it.
to back out of it as well now, of course.
There we go. I think he's made himself enough space now as well. Compromised both of themselves through that one.
Yeah, I think he's just enough room. Darren's coming into the pits anyway, so.
So here we go. We're across the start-finish straight now to start this lap. 0.3 seconds to find. It's going to be quite a challenge to find 0.3 seconds.
To beat that lap, it's an uphill struggle.
Yeah,
he's just hit the curb again.
God, he's definitely trying very, very hard here.
I wonder if he's worked on the front end during practice, and now the front is just a little bit too responsive for him, and he's just run off at turn 2 as well. So the exact opposite problem there, in fact.
Definitely, I think he's going to be back in the pits for a little adjustment there for the looks of it. He's got 8 minutes of this session remaining. It's not looking good, and the second of the SRT cars has just jumped up again. He's now 1.15 seconds back, Bert van Jaarsveld, so he's finding pace everywhere at the moment, which is good to see. Wim Pengelly is 1.6 seconds back in 4th. He's got the car fixed and is back out on track as well now. Dan Stevens still down in 5th, so see if they can get any progression from here for these guys. Oh, and Stevens is off as well. Really is a bad day for a commentator's curse here.
Yeah. Where's that? Has he just gone for the corkscrew?
He's gone off the corkscrew. It looks like he's buried. And if he's buried, nope, he got it going.
He's just coming. Just from the looks of it.
There's something I'm seeing here. It almost looks like Brett Clark's succumbing to the pressure of Kai Turner. I mean, there's been quite a few mistakes. He's really pushing that car hard.
Yeah, we noticed it in practice as well. He wasn't leaving anything on the table anywhere, so definitely a bit of pressure from Kai this race.
I mean, we did say towards the back end of last season with the announcement that Brett Clark was making a full-time return and with the absence of Rob Herbert, that Brett Clark and Kai Turner could be the two that you're watching towards the back half of the season.
Definitely, it's looking that way from the performance today and at the last round as well at Road America, where they were 1 and 2.
Yeah, I mean, this takes me back to when I first started commentating with you, Steve, with the Reese Morris and Brett Clark battles.
Oh yeah, those two did not like each other as well, which helped for us.
Oh, I remember our first races and the abuse I got after calling a contact.
Is that Pengelly off in the exact same place again?
It looks it.
No, it's Bruns. It's the second of the SR cars.
And Clark around again in the corkscrew.
Yeah. Oh, he's backed it into the. Oh, he's kept it off the wall as well. So I can tell the frustration levels are going right up in that 33 car at the minute.
I think that was steam out of the cockpit, not tyre smoke as well as we went past.
Yeah, I think the visor's steamed up now. That's probably what's happened. You can't see.
Is there a new to Mr. Style system in those cars, Steve?
Anyway. Interesting, we've got none of the 555 cars this weekend. A bit unusual that at least one of them's not here.
Well, they were both on earlier today during some stage, one at a different time, both at different times. But yeah, it is very strange not to see them here because they're one of the continuous regulars that you'll see every week.
Yeah.
Matthew Mitz has just gone into the wall at turn 1. He's just run straight on. And he's managed to get it out.
In saying that too, this is probably one of the smaller fields we usually get. I mean, only 12 cars making the appearance as opposed to our usual 20, 22.
Yeah, I think it's obviously pre-season test. Some people, it's summertime, they're having a bit of a rest, getting ready for September.
September. Only a month till Bathurst.
That is true as well. That should be exciting as well. I wonder if it'll be as good as our one.
Oh, our one was hectic, but we will just make special mention too that this September does see the 10-year anniversary of the passing of the late great Peter Brock. So this year at the Mountain is going to be a big one.
Absolutely. So let's see if we can find is Brett Clark is back out again. I think this is a warm-up lap. God, he's all over the place.
It's so ragged out there.
I definitely think, Troy, you're on to something there. That I think Kai Turner has unsettled him a little bit. And it's definitely shown the
Definitely
straight back
rattled
in the
him.
pits again. Well,
Yeah,
we've
but
got...
like I said, that corkscrew is very tricky. There is one line only through there if you want to get through there at pace, because otherwise, if you're sliding either way, there's a very big crest there and it unsettles the rear, something severe, and the car just comes around, which is what you're seeing with Clark.
Okay, so we've got 3 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in qualifying. He's just jumped in, changed the tyres. We've seen the jacks go up there on the car as well. He's gone straight back out again. So imagine he's just going to put his foot down and hope for the best. So if anyone can do it, he can. But the way it's been looking so far, I'm not 100% comfortable. Oh, wow. Have you just seen Dan Stevens has just dropped in 0.392 seconds back in third position there? That was a fantastic lap from
Wow.
Dan.
That is a late charge. Just very quickly, second of the SRT cars was just facing the wrong way, and he's just got it back into the pits as well.
Did he drive it back into the pits, do we know?
No, he didn't.
Oh, he's out then. That's it, you have to drive it back.
Session over then.
Session over.
It's fourth at the moment. He's got half a second to Wayne Pengilly, so he might be safe from that.
He might be, yeah. It's looking good at the top here with that 0.392 seconds covering first, second and third. Clark's on his warm-up lap now, so we're coming up to the left-hander before we go up the hill towards the corkscrew. Even on the warm-up lap, he's leaving nothing on the table. I think he's trying to actually get 2 laps in, from what I can see.
It'll be an effort.
He is trying to get 2 laps in, that's why he's pushing it. He's got traffic in front of him as well. Oh, that's it, stayed out of the way, perfect. The car looks a lot straighter on this lap.
He's still throwing that around, but car just needs to be a little bit more compliant with it.
Yeah, it does seem to be gripping up, so we're into the final corner now as well. If he crosses the line with 1 minute 30 to go, he should get 2 laps in.
Nip and tuck, 1:35 on the timer as he went over the line.
Should be fine if he doesn't make a mistake. He should get 2 laps out of this. We're into turn 1 there, a little bit of a lock-up of the left rear. Nice line through there, looks nice and steady out, running out to the curb. So this is where it caught him out earlier on with the, he's missed the hump in the middle of the corner.
Let's see if he does it in turn 3 as well.
He was close on that one.
Close.
Really loading up that front left.
Here he goes again, so he's coming through the left-hander again. We can see those red curbs sticking out as well. You've got to stay away from them or it's going to throw the car over. Coming up on the left-hander now as well. Have we got any times there? He's 0.050 faster in Sector 1. Sector 2 time should be coming up now. 0.122 seconds faster. Oh.
And there it is.
Kept it together. Here we go. He's getting ragged again in the back half of this.
He's lost it.
Straighten her up. Keep going.
And that'll screw those tyres. They'll have nice big marks on them.
He'll get another lap if he goes. He was up as well. He was 0.122 seconds faster through Sector 1 and 2 overall. It's going to be last lap. Yeah, he's made it across. That was a second down, so he should be okay for another lap. Hopefully he hasn't done too much damage to the tyres.
Oh, look, knowing the way this track's tearing the tyres up at the moment, Steve, one spot off and you lose 10% of those tyres.
Definitely, it really is hard in the mouth on this final lap. He can't make any mistakes, and look at that.
And he's hit that curb again.
Yeah, it didn't look like it cost him too much though.
And Kai Turner's just done a 26.7 in Sector 1. And Green in Sector 2 as well. So he's going even faster at the moment.
Clark's done 0.5 seconds down in Sector 1, so that'll be...
And he's gone wide at turn 5 as well.
So yeah, 0.241 up through for Sector 1 and 2 for Kai Turner across the start-finish straight now. Oh, look at that, a 120.1 on the last lap.
That is some pace.
That is absolutely scorching, almost into the 19s. Can you believe it?
Wow.
That is ridiculous. We look like we've had a little bit of an incident with the number 1 car and the Clark car at the corkscrew. Not sure if we can get a replay of that, but no, they were both clear of each other. I think it was the second of the SRT cars through there that just had a separate incident. So, fantastic qualifying is done for the 18 laps of race 1. We have Kai Turner on pole position, 120.111, as you say, almost into the 19s. Fantastic effort there, 0.837 seconds over Brett Clark. When have we ever seen a gap like that over Brett Clark anywhere?
I can't even fathom the idea. I mean, not even the likes of Rob Herbert's been able to gap Brett in that kind of nature. It's just showing that either Kai's really gotten inside Brett's head and this track's come back and bitten Brett a bit hard, or Kai's just absolutely found another gear in the off season.
I don't know. Let's ask them, shall we? So we'll get them down for the post-qualifying interview. So we'll just bring them down now. So welcome, guys. The top 3 in qualifying are joining us. Kai Turner from Brett Clark and Dan Stevens. Dan, if we just come to you first, that was a fantastic late effort to take yourself up to 0.3 seconds with pole at the time. Where did that one come from?
To be quite honest, I don't know. I just I think I was burning my tyres out on my outlap, trying to make a gap to myself to the guy behind me. But this time I just took it easy. And then on that second lap, got a good turn out of that last corner and just caned it and pulled that time out.
Excellent, well done. Brett, we'll just come to you. Second position, bit of a surprise there for yourself, I would say.
Yeah, scruffy session, very scruffy session.
Yeah, we'll say it was off at every corner, and if not, it was off at the next corner.
Yeah.
Is there a bit of an issue with the setup of the car, or is it just not performing today?
Nah, my mind's not there because I've got to leave in 2 minutes. So,
that's
unfortunately,
unfortunate.
yeah. So, unfortunately, I won't be racing. So I probably wasn't as concentrated as I should have been.
Fair enough. Kai, fantastic final lap there, 120.1 to stamp your authority on the session. Almost into the 19s. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I was happy with it towards the end there, but the first thing I did, it wasn't working out, so I did a few changes, came to the pits, and did a last couple laps and got that time, so I'm happy with it.
Excellent, well done. Any questions, guys?
Pardon?
You say there, Kai, that you weren't happy with the car. Was it tyre pressures, more not the tyres coming up quick enough, or what was it?
Oh, it just wouldn't. Yeah, like it just felt dead until you get the tyres up to temp, and then just that late charge just gave me the edge. I think with the rubber now, it's a lot easier.
How are the tyres holding up for the race?
The right front, it's going to be a killer.
So
yeah, well, I'm looking at about 3% a lap if I push it.
Ooh, that's quite nasty. Is that on the softs, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. Nobody planning on hards, or you probably won't tell us anyway for the first race.
There's 3.
Nah, not the first race anyway.
Excellent. Thanks, guys. We'll let you get back to warm up, and hopefully we'll speak to you after race 1.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks, mate.
So there we have it, the top 3 in the grid. Kai Turner from Brett Clark, who's unfortunately not going to be racing, which is a real shame there, and Dan Stevens. So looks like Kai should have it all his own way. What do you think, guys?
I mean, the pace he's got is unbelievable.
Definitely. I'm going to take a short 2-minute break, so if you guys want to chat there, feel free.
No worries. One thing I did notice there, Chris, is probably something that you don't notice, you wouldn't know being fresh to the scene here, is Brett saying that his mind wasn't in it. He was just scruffy and whatnot. I think that's highly unlikely because I know personally that when Brett turns up to a racetrack, his mind's on nothing but the game and getting the best time. So I do think it might have been more of Kai. He's really getting under his skin a little bit here. He's got some competition, but probably not wanting to let him know.
I'd be inclined to agree with you. I mean, the pace that Kai has got would put anybody off. And yeah, he seemed very calm in that interview. But like you said, probably not wanting to lose face.
No, definitely not. I mean, you're a 3 times champion. You are the pinnacle, so to speak, of this league. And you get someone with the likes of Kai Turner that's, this is only his second season in. This is only Team DSAs. This is only our second season in as a team. We hold the team's title, and now SRT have come back and have been the dominant team. So there's a lot of pressure there on SRT to regain where they once were.
Well, I think it says a lot that Brett's just come in just to do a practice on a qualifying session, not actually take part in the race. So I think that says quite a lot. Obviously, but still in for SRT, he's got to do all their work now.
Well, yes, that's true. And when you point that side of it out, could it be a psychological thing where he's come to try and stamp some authority for SRT and say, hey,
just watching Kai now, he's just so beautifully smooth, isn't he? When he's got it hooked up, that is.
here for the Enduro Cup. It was an unfortunate situation where he had a family emergency, missed the first race of the Endurance Cup, and by missing that, it really robbed him the chance of winning the Peter Brock Trophy for the first time in his debut season. So this kid is really something to watch out, and he's come along leaps and bounds since the signing of Wayne Dare to Team DSA. Wayne's been a phenomenal find for us, and he's really helped bring Kai on. And you can see that he's driving between the early stages of last season and the beginning of this season.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell he's giving it some through the corkscrew as well.
Yeah, the corkscrew, like I said, I will say it time and time again, there is only one line through there if you're going to come through at a decent speed.
No, you're right. There's really only one way you can take it, and I think 90% of the time for these guys it'll be slightly out of control, but
yes,
not so much that you wouldn't be able to get it back.
Look, what I found, I've done a few laps here, obviously, with the team and that, trying to get a car set up for the boys. What I found is if you come through that corkscrew, what you want to do is you want to try and visualize that second corner and virtually be straight. You want your car to sort of get slightly airborne and be straight across the apex. That way, when the car lands and settles itself, you're still not turning. You're already in that position you want to be, and then it's ready to go, continue on through the track.
So would you cut across the inside more?
Basically, yeah. You'll basically have almost the tail shaft, the drive shaft of the car coming over the ripple strip. Sorry there, Chris. A lot of team chatter going on in the background here. We're trying to sort of, in the warm-up session at DSA, we like to get the cars set, get some tyre deck, and get some numbers sorted as well.
Ah, right, okay. No worries. It's interesting to see Dan Stevens up top at the moment. But
Yeah, I think Dan's trying to sort of find that maximum limit of what the car will actually be capable of.
having said that, Bert Van Johnson's just gone into the top spot by 2.5 tenths a second. It's only Bert, Dan, and Kai with a time at the moment. I wonder if Dan's just trying to, I don't know, maybe do something different on tyres, because we're going to be talking about tyres quite a lot in this in this race. Oh, Kai's just run it a little bit too deep into the final corner there. That will have cost him that lap. They'll make him slow onto the front straight can lap as well, so not ideal.
It's very easy to do here. It's very easy to overcommit yourself, especially into that last turn, because you think there's the 4 markers. You got your 4, 3, 2, and 1, and it's so easy to think, oh, you know what? Just that extra 300 or that extra 100 meters there. Surely I can pull it up.
Oh God, Kai and Ian Hannon getting very close into turn 2 there. Kai was trying to, almost just rear-ended him into the braking zone, and he got all crossed up going through the corner. This guy left, right on the wheel. That was a good save.
Yeah, that's what we call here, Chris, a genuine tank slapper.
Yeah. He still improved on that last lap, even though he went wide. I think he only had 1 lap at that point, so he's 7 tenths off of Bert at the moment. Dan Stevens in the middle.
Tell you what, but if you get a tank slapper happening, there can be one of 2 things: either very enjoyable, or you know what, get me a new race suit because it's just turned brown.
Matthew Mitz has just gone into the pit wall for the 2nd time this event. Like I said earlier, there's no real shame, and it happens to the best of us.
Oh, look, it does. I mean, still, I've been doing this 2-3 years now, and I'll still find the wall on a regular occurrence.
I mean, it happened to David Coulthard in Melbourne, so it does.
Well, it happened to Jamie Whincup doing a celebratory burnout.
Got Colin Bruns just on a lap time, 3.9 off the pace for ASR.
No, ASR, they're someone that they've shown some promise in the non-main game championships, like as we like to call them in amongst the other drivers, the Torque Steer championships with the front-wheel drive shopping trolleys. Colin there, he's making a name for himself as the shopping cart attendant, where he's taking a lot of championships points and championships in the shopping trolley challenge, and just seems to become the supercars. He just struggles to find that balance.
Dan Stevens has just lost it on the exit of turn 9 and hit the wall as well. I think he's got front damage. He's just brought it back to the pits.
That's a bit of the last thing you want just before the race is about to start.
Just a bit.
So, practice is over, warm-up qualifying is done, warm-up is over, so it's everything on the line in a couple of minutes for race 1, 18-lap race. Got a bit of an interesting look there on the Ian Hannon car. It looks like a Holden, a Mercedes and a Nissan have all crashed into each other, or am I seeing things?
There's been all sorts of action happening, Steve, during this session. We've had Kai Turner and Ian Hannon nearly come together and then follow it up with the Kai Turner trademark tank slapper.
I don't know, guys. Are you seeing this on screen? If you look at the 7 car, it looks like it's got about 3 different car liveries all crashed over it. Interesting.
No, it looks perfectly fine to me. The Ian Hannon car, yeah?
Yeah.
No, it looks like a typical Rizzler Commodore to me.
Doesn't look like that on my screen or on the TV screen, so...
Well, Steve's managed to buy a glitch version of R-Factor 2 for the day.
Yeah, I think it's they've got old liveries knocking around. Obviously, we've been doing this for quite some time, so some of the server hasn't updated one of them, I think. So interesting. I see we've got Bert in first position at 122.1 from Dan, 0.263 seconds back. Kai Turner in third, 0.768 back there as well. So if that's any indication of race pace, we should be in for a decent race.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
definitely, but I can come out and say now that no, that's not Kai's race pace.
Inside information.
Nothing but the best.
Excellent. Yeah, so we're just waiting on the session to tick over now and we'll be ready to rock and roll in a second. So our last car out on track from the looks of it is Colin Bruns, who's just coming up towards the corkscrew. Team owner Bruce Duncan's missing today as well for some reason.
Our esteemed steward.
Yeah, he's giving himself a bit of a break because hopefully they don't start banging and bashing in the pre-season.
Have a break and then he'll end up with having a case of Red Bull on his door. He's got to stay up all night trying to sort out 1,000 incidents.
Yeah. Referred to the stewards.
Referred to the stewards, I think Mr. Pengelly's got a permanent reservation there at Bruce's office.
Well, he did for the first part of last season, so he's cleaned it up a little bit now.
Let's see if he keeps that up.
So a big shout out to our viewers who are watching live on YouTube. Feel free to ask us any questions and we will do our best to answer them for you. So we've got the 4-minute countdown.
And no, we don't do any requests.
So it looks like the pit lane is still red as the cars make their way down to a pit exit, so they'll have to wait there or else they'll trigger a penalty for themselves. So just watching Kai Turner now as he's leading them out, and hopefully he stops. I've got red lights on my console, so I'm not sure what's going on with that.
Well, according to Kai, mate, the lights were green when he crossed.
Okay. Fair enough, because 3 of them are out anyway. So this is just the formation lap to the grid. So this should be all checking out all systems, making sure they've got everything they need. If they need to make any changes such as fuel or tyres or whatever, they can nip back in the pits quickly and run back round again. So they've got 3 minutes remaining to get in their grid slot. Just behind there we see Dan Stevens warming up his tyres. Interestingly, Kai's not warming up as much.
No, I suppose if you're going to be sat on the grid for some time, then it might not be worth it.
Yeah, he's backing everybody.
Not just that.
Today.
The tyre deck as well. He's probably really thinking about conserving as much of that rubber as he can.
Yeah, that's true. If you're on the softs, the last thing you want to do is take any life out of them on the warm-up lap to the grid.
Oh, you definitely can see he's on the soft. He's got the white writing on the sidewalls there. And just another note on the new format of racing here. We'll do basically an out lap, and it's straight to race. There is no more formation laps in Racing-Leagues.com.
Excellent. They're all lining up behind Kai Turner now. We've got Darren Goosey, Bart van Jarsveld, and Dan Stevens on the. I'm not sure who's in the 21 car this weekend.
We've got Matthew Mites has lost it at the corkscrew again and put it into the wall.
On the outlap.
On the outlap.
See if we can get a replay of it. So we're just heading up now. Yeah, he's quite slow coming up to the corkscrew as well, so I'm not sure he's lost it.
Would have been just getting light with some brake on, and his rear bias is still not
just-
quite right, probably.
Just heard the engine notes there as he went for the brake. The engine didn't slow down, so he's obviously trying to warm the brakes up. And I don't know why you'd choose the top of the corkscrew somewhere to warm your brakes up.
There's definitely somewhere the only thing that's getting warm is the seat of your pants.
Absolutely. So we've got 1 minute countdown starting now. We've got all cars on the grid. So on a great site this is as well to see at Laguna Seca. We've got 29 degree air temperature, 12 degrees track temperature. Shouldn't play much of a factor in the event. And just looking at the weather fronts coming in, there is some rain, but it is a long way away from the racetrack itself. However, it does look a little bit cloudy out there as well, so the track temperature will rise during the race. So 30 seconds to
Definitely
go.
a lot of cloud cover, Steve.
30 seconds to go. We've just lost one of the cars off the grid there from the looks of it.
Just waiting for Ian Hannon to join the field. He's just coming into the corkscrew now.
Yeah, I think we've lost Dan Stevens, is it?
He's just disappeared off the grid.
Stevens is there. Oh, everyone's gone. Everyone, that seems to be a restart. Do you want to see what the story is there, Steve?
Seems to be some sort of restart. Let's just hang fire. Dan, you got me?
Yeah, mate.
Do we have an issue?
Yeah, we got guys drop out.
Okay, no worries.
So they're coming back in. Waiting for Norman to come back in,
Yeah, we lost a couple of drivers.
and we're away.
Yeah, guys, we lost a couple of drivers on the warm-up lap there, so we should be up and running again shortly. A little bit unfortunate, but that's the thing with sim racing. Not everybody's got the same connection, unfortunately.
Yeah, that is one of the things. It's basically a internet dropout is the same as a mechanical failure for online sim racing.
Pretty much, yeah, but we're a bit nicer than that. If it's coming to the grid, we let them get back in again, so at least we can have a race.
Except if you're Rob Herbert, if you have a mechanical failure in this game, it's bye-bye. Don't even bother turning back up because you know it's going to be one of those nights.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So, while we wait
And
as
if
well,
he's watching, a big shout out to him.
definitely, and if any of the 555 boys are watching as well, where are you?
Steve, let's just go through the grid here. Who are we actually missing from season 1?
Damn good question, Troy. Why don't you find out for us?
Oh, I was asking you. Can't you tell us?
Not off the top of my head, no, there was that many drivers. Well, we're missing Gavin Cox, David Kinnaman. For definite, we're missing Ford Johnson, Roger Clark. Who else are we missing? I'll have to
We've
look
got the
back.
Team Realism crew.
Yeah, they're both here.
Wouldn't be realistic without them. I think we're missing Dan Ricard Pavel,
Yep.
Daryl Bennett.
No, Daryl's here.
Oh, is he? I haven't seen him.
He's driving the 888 car, Red Bull car.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah, he switched out of the Wild Turkey Volvo from the looks of it. So we've got the Castrol BSR cars leading the way out. Kai Turner followed up with Bert van Jaarsveld fourth, heading out of the pits.
I guess there was it Darryl Worthington as well?
That's right. Yes, that's right.
I mean, when you look back, we're missing a good probably 10 drivers, 2 of which we won't make mention of.
I shall find out for who we're missing now, Troy, for you while we're waiting. So 3 minutes to go, everybody to get round to the grid.
Interesting that Wayne Dare and Ian Hannon waiting in the pits. They were doing this last time as well. Ian Hannon was the last one to leave.
Very much a strategy game there. I think you'll find, Chris, is they're trying to sort of leave it as late as possible exiting the pits so that they've got as least time to sit on the grid and let their tyres and brakes cool out.
Yeah, so they got that good heat as they're coming into the first corner. Casey Stoner used to do that in MotoGP. He always made sure that he was at the back of the formation lap.
Yeah, he was definitely a racer's racer, Casey Stoner.
Oh, absolutely. And actually, me and Steve were just talking about it earlier. Had a few good moments around this track in particular.
Yeah, he did. It was just a shame that he couldn't take the ability showed on 2 wheels and put it to 4 wheels over here.
Right, so we've got the everybody forming up now. 1 minute, 30 seconds to go. And a shout out to our live steward Bruce Duncan, who's watching the race. No doubt.
Oh,
keeping
good
an eye
old
out.
Bruce. He's found the internet connection. Probably laid up in bed, not feeling the best, is he, Steve?
No. There we go, we got the last of the cars lining up. We're still waiting on Wayne Dare, who's just coming around the final corner now as well.
And we're just waiting on Hannon, who's just coming into the final sector now.
Actually, yeah, he's just coming through the corkscrew.
But you're right, this is the absolute perfect strategy play, because here everyone else is losing brake temperature, losing tyre temperature. He's going to turn up on the grid. Nice hot brakes, nice hot tyres. He's going to be the most confident going into the first corner.
All right. Green flags at the back of the field.
Here we go. Let's just wait for the lights. Green, 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 and a great start for Kai Turner. Dan Stevens has made the better start on the outside as well. He's taking the outside line through there. Bert van Jaarsveld's looking through as well, and the 2 SR cars are swarming the back of the SRT car through that. Turn 1, Kai Turner leads. Dan Stevens second. Bert van Jaarsveld third. The 2 ASR cars next up with Wayne Dare behind.
Wade Pengelly fancied his chances at third place on the outside of turn 1 there, but didn't quite make the move stick.
Yeah, not yet. We'll see how they get through this first lap. Cold tyres, cold brakes, cold brains. Good start by Dan Stevens there, but he looked like he lost a little bit in the second part of the start, where Kai Turner managed to get the grip down and break away. Be interested to see.
Yeah, I think it was the second phase of the start there for Klopp. by the shift into second gear. It was minimal wheel spin, and he just sort of managed to hold the line and take the turn.
Definitely all through the corkscrew safely so far. Kai Turner is pulling out nicely into the lead. He's 0.9 seconds clear of Dan Stevens in second position already on this lap, and Bert van Jaarsveld is right up the back of the Stevens #1 Commodore. Peg Ellie's going with him as well, so the battle is on for second position at the moment as Kai Turner clears off to 1.9 seconds clear now already. That is a phenomenal first lap.
He's got the confidence.
He's Stevens slides and loses second position.
Jaarsveld is through,
Pengelly.
and Pengelly as well. No. That was tempting if you were a driver there to just stick it down the inside and hope for it.
I think he thought better of it in the end. Because that almost definitely would have ended up in a lost front splitter.
That certainly would have. Both cars would have taken damage out of that. It was also good driving by Pengelly there to stay out of it. Early part of last season, I highly doubt he would have stayed out, took out of it with you, Tori. Well, when you look at that, Van Jaarsveld has cut down Kai Turner's lead to 0.7 seconds on this lap now that he's clear.
Have they just come together?
They certainly have. First and second are both off.
I thought there was a glitch on my screen for a minute there, so now we got Dan Stevens leading from the two SR cars.
That is...
What? God, Turner's gone round again!
Oh dear.
At the final corner, there was contact there.
Just getting a replay of that. It was the 21 car of Daryl Bennett on the inside coming into the corners while Kai Turner tried to drive around the outside and just got the slightest of touches as well. Right down the back.
See, Van Jaarsveld there had just set 2 purple sectors and he was cutting that lead right down. He was catching him at such a rate of knots.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of a glitch there as they went into that corner. It looked like the Kai Turner car actually came back a little bit from what I could see initially and left Bert with nowhere to go. So Bert is having to fight his way through the traffic now, as is Kai. Kai is 16 seconds off the lead. We'll just stick with the Van Jaarsveld car at the moment. He's got all of the traffic around him as well. He needs to make some moves and fast. He's going to get back up there. He's right up the back of Darren Goosey coming through the corkscrew. And he's just tapped him slightly through the corkscrew as well. It's getting a bit clumsy through there with this amount of cars.
Yeah, he's got Goosey. Oh, Ian Hannon's flipped it!
Just try and get a replay of that. So coming up to the corkscrew, Ian Hannon going in nicely, takes the inside apex, runs out a little bit there. So I think it's after the corkscrew when he hits the issue.
Just hits the inside red curb.
Oh.
So many people have done that this weekend, and he's pitting.
What an accident that was. That was spectacular on the replay.
He's in the pits as well.
Definitely got Kai Turner's now starting to close up. He's still 16.9 seconds off the lead. He's got Matthew Mites right in front of him. We're just looking at where Van Jaarsveld is. He's in 7th position still. He's taking care of Darren Goosey. He's now got the 888 Commodore in front of him as well. He's all over the back of it as well coming into this corner. He's going to try for the inside. Not enough straight there to get through, so gather it up again and have another go.
There's a bit of a queue forming up behind Norman Clark here because you've got Dixon, Van Jaarsveld, Goosey and Bennett all in this lot as well.
I've just seen a part of a splitter go across the track there as well. I'm wondering if that was, and they're all going through the corkscrew together. John Jaarsveld ran the outside.
Not ran the outside. No! Oh, that was incredible.
And he kept it all together as well. So well done there. Oh, we got Wayne Durr off on the outside a little bit there as well. Van Jaarsveld's through on that. No.
Too wide. I don't want to watch.
Lost it a little bit there, but he held it. This is fantastic stuff. So he's already back up into 5th place.
3 cars on that lap, and here comes for the 4th car.
And here comes 4.
What a drive.
So what's the gap to
12
Colin
point,
Bruns now?
he's 12.5 seconds off the lead and 9
He's got-
seconds off Colin Bruns, so he's got plenty of time. We're only on lap 4. And we'll pop back and see Kai Turner, who's going to have to repeat the exact same moves now. And we look at Kai Turner, who's right under the back of the Caltex 888 car. He's got Wayne Dare on the outside as well. It looks like a traffic jam on a Friday afternoon going home from work.
This is Dare's gone wide, and that's given Turner the run. There he goes.
So he's got Daryl Bennett to take care of him. Daryl is no easy man to pass, let me tell you that. So Kai's got his work cut out for him here. Just heading up towards the corkscrew. We'll watch him close up right under brakes, I'd imagine, before he turns in for the corkscrew. He's just got to be careful. There we go.
But of course, it's going to be harder for Kai now because he had a second incident at the final corner on that first lap as well. So he's not been able to get through. Oh, and he just clipped that red sausage curb on the inside of turn 9 there, and he just managed to hold on to it. But yeah, like I was saying, he hasn't been able to get through the field as quickly because of that second incident, and he's losing time every lap because of it.
Yeah, you can see that he's lost quite a bit of time through that final corner. I'd imagine his rear tyres are crying enough at this point. So 5 laps in the book out of 18. Dan Stevens in the lead, 2.2 seconds ahead of Wayne Pengelly. Colin Bruns third. Bert van Jorsfield 11.9 seconds back now, so he took a second out of him on that lap as well.
Guess who's just set the fastest lap of the race?
Let me see. Van Jorsfield.
Absolutely, and he's cut it down to 8 seconds now to Colin Bruns.
Kai Turner through on Daryl Bennett there as well. That was a very nice move in an unusual place, so he's taken it where he can. And he's got Darren Goosey in front of him as well now, so he should catch him just before the corkscrew. We'll see how they get through there together. A 125.9 on that last lap for Kai Turner, so he is just bleeding time. He's 20 seconds off the lead now.
Because while he's doing all this squabbling and all this fighting, he's going to be taking life out of those tyres. So he's probably going to end up being a little bit exposed at the end of the race as well.
Absolutely.
Well, yes and no there, Chris. It depends on how he's going to manage it. He's going to try and be aggressive like Brett Clark.
He's going the outside. They thought better of it on that one.
Goosey's going to go wide and straight underneath him. Thank you very much.
Definitely. So 4 seconds up the road is Trevor Dickinson in the 888 Red Bull car. So Kai set sail for that as well. So we look at Bert van Jorsfield, a 122.952 on the last lap. Fastest guy on track again on that lap. He's closing down Colin Bruns.
At about a second a lap.
Definitely. So he should get to him. We could just see him disappearing out of the picture there from Bert's car. And Stevens must be laughing into his helmet as well. He's just cleared off to 3.8 seconds clear of second position as he goes through the corkscrew. He doesn't need a second invitation to take this win.
No, I imagine he must have had this massive gleeful smile on his face as soon as he saw Turner and Berjansfield coming together.
We've got Trevor Dickinson, I think.
Dixon off.
Just watching on the replay, he's just gone very wide through that corner as we come to the under the bridge before the uphill part of the corkscrew.
They've just taken Darren Goosey as well for 8th place at the final corner.
Oh, Dickinson hit that sausage curb as well. He's gone straight off into the barriers. I imagine he'll have to hit back to the pits with that one. Interesting now.
Let's see, Turner up to 6th.
Just looking at the overall times, Bert has been able to get it down to 11.8 seconds, but he hasn't been able to close it down any further at this point because Dan just dropped in a 22.933 to 23.460 for Bert, and he was only 0.2 faster on that lap than Colin Bruns in front, so might have taken a bit of life out of these tyres necessarily.
Still doing 27s in the first sector, but
yeah, so we got Kai Turner on the last lap at a 23.450, which is nowhere near as fast as he can go, so I imagine those tyres are suffering a little bit. And he's trying to sneak up on Norman Clark as well, and Norman as well is one of the hardest guys in the field to pass as well, so he's going to have to work hard to get this one. just seen in the background as well there, we've Daryl Bennett ran off wide, hit the sausage curb again for the looks of it. They're really causing problems, these sausage curbs, guys.
They are. Look, I used to use them in Gran Turismo as a guide, as sort of to clip them, and I'm clipping my apex. But if you do it here in the R Factor version of the track,
Look
you
at this
clip your
move, it's
apex,
on.
you're clipping the wall.
He's got a beautiful run into the final corner, Kai Turner on Norman Clark. Norman's not giving it up easy, look at that.
Norman squeezed him there. He was not going to let him have it easily.
Yeah, we did say so. 10
that's typical
seconds
Norman.
off of 4th position now, Kai. He's Bert has got the gap down to 10.8 seconds, so he's taking a second off again on that last lap.
Yeah, look, he's in fine form, Kai. Look, he's one of those guys that you can never write him off. And just hearing over the team radio there, his tyres are still in really, really good nick. Still 90% on that front right.
Really?
Wow.
That's amazing, especially with that spin as well. I would have thought that took a bit more out of it.
Well, I would have too, but it just shows you that the Kai Turner we had at the beginning of last season is a totally different driver this time around. Really knows how to conserve those tyres.
Absolutely. So we've got Stevens is still 3.8 seconds ahead of Pengelly in second position. The second ASR car's in third position. I bet Bruce has got a big smile on his face for a change there. He's got his cars in second and third position. Bert's got the gap down now to 10.4 seconds at 22.747 on that last lap. That's a phenomenal lap to throw in at this point in the race.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's just at half distance now as well, so to be doing lap times like that's pretty good. So he must have had a bit of an issue on the previous lap. Although
most definitely.
Having said that, he's just done a 23.5 on that lap as well, so he's not getting the consistency out of the Volvo that he needs.
No, it could be a case of Steve. He's probably putting out one, letting the tyres cool out hot, and probably just preserving his tyre life there.
Yeah, but he needs to his cool down lap, if you like, needs to be a little bit faster because Colin Brunn's pulled out half a second on him on that lap.
That comes straight from the team manager, obviously.
Definitely.
Speaking of, I mean, the old Brucey there, he must be really smiling like a Cheshire cat because while those two boys are up the front, there's no hand going in the pocket for him to pay for anything.
So far, but they could always get together later in the race, so fingers crossed, eh?
Well, I know Brucey will have his wallet crossed.
Well, if he even owns one. So that gap is just staying exactly the same, 3.8 seconds. They're matching each other lap for lap, Stevens and Pengelly. 1:23.491 for Dan, a 1:23.418 for Pengelly on the last lap. So it's tenths, hundredths even.
Yeah, and that's what we want to see. We want to see these tight battles up the front, and to see the fact that the ASR boys have really come on strong in the start of this second season, whereas they started showing some genuine pace towards the back half of the first season, especially Pengelly. And as we mentioned earlier, Colin's showing some really good speed in the support category championships as well.
Absolutely. So just looking at the lap times there, Stevens stamped out to a 4.2 second lead now with a 1:23.854 lap time. He looks like he's got a bit of pace if he needs it.
Definitely something you need to have in reserve in this league, especially, is something to either fight with or push with in the back half of the race.
So we'll just do a quick run through the field. So Dan Stevens, reigning V8 Supercars champion, running a little bit wide there just as we come to him on track. Got a nice healthy just under 4 second lead again, so it's ebbing and flowing between first and second. What's your take on Dan so far, guys?
I think he's just picking up where he left off last season. He's capitalising on anyone's misfortune, which was very much Gavin Cox-like as well, and that gave him the title from last season. So if this keeps coming up for him, could see back-to-back chances here for Dan. That's my opinion.
I've got to agree. He just put in a lap out of nowhere in qualifying, and I think that may be something we'll end up seeing from him a little bit more as the season goes on. He just maybe sandbags a little bit in practice, and then when it counts, just put the lap time in.
Yeah, definitely for us last season, qualifying was definitely his weakest point. If he'd moved up a few more positions in the races in qualifying, he would have actually picked up a couple of wins. I thought he had too much work to do in the first half of the races to try and get back up there. So moving across to second position now, we've got Wim Pengelly on screen, the 111 ASR Rockstar Holden Commodore. He's keeping Dan honest on this one. Dan did a 124.5 on the last lap and a 123.8. Wayne seems to be happily in the 123s on every lap. So he's got that consistency that we've noted last year, that when he gets in a rhythm, he can just knock out the same lap time, lap after lap after lap, and that's something that gets you wins eventually.
It definitely does. I think, especially in the supercars and especially at this track, it's very much a case of if you you have to find a rhythm to find any consistency on lap speed here. And once you do find that rhythm, it's crucial to stick to it, because if you lose it, you're going to see yourself fall, especially if you break it around the corkscrew.
Definitely, we've got the second of the ASR cars in third position as well. I'm impressed with Colin's race pace here as well. He's not getting left. The gap has been 6 seconds to first position pretty much from lap 2 or 3, and it hasn't grown. And he's got his teammate right beside him as well. So bodes well for the season. I think winning that Clio Championship and leading the Seats Championship as well has definitely given that little bit extra, and he seems to have it under control and looking pretty good.
Oh yes, well he's the Talksty champion.
Commentator's curse again.
Oh, we've got Ian Hannon off on the outside as well. I wonder, did he get distracted by that as he went in?
Doubt you would even be able to see it, just because of the elevation drop. And I mean, we've been talking all day about how difficult the corkscrew is in a car like this, but that's allowed Bert Van Jaarsveld to get really close to him now.
I was just about to say, look, we can see Van Jaarsveld appear around the final corner now as well, so he's still 9 seconds off the lead, but now that he can see his quarry in front of him, we'll see what sort of lap times he can run. We're on lap 13 out of 18, so he's got plenty of time to get up there. Maybe we'll see a little battle develop yet. And Kai Turner is in 5th position. He's got the gap down to the lead to 16 seconds. It was out to 22 seconds at one stage, so 22.470 on the last lap, which is his fastest lap as well, so there's plenty of pace still in that car.
And you would expect there to be. I mean, from that first lap, he was checking out, as it were, ahead of Stevens and Van Jaarsveld, and until he got into second place. That was. So yeah, it's not really surprising to see him coming up again and Colin again. And that's gonna hand Van Jaarsveld third place.
Yeah,
he's going to lose that to Kai Turner as well.
Just got to get the replay now. It's at the corkscrew again, isn't it, as well, guys?
Oh yeah, it is. It's, like I said, it's coming into there, braking. You've got to try and get off the brake and have the car with no turning angle on it at all and shoot straight through. Otherwise, it's coming around.
It's the return to track that's caused him the problems there. He's got a little bit overexcitable on the throttle. Oh, that was a horrible return to track for him. That's unfortunate.
His tyres have gone.
Mids back in the background there.
I think so. It doesn't look too clever. So we've got Kai Turner up to 4th, Colin Bruns down to 5th, Norman Clark in 6th position. Norman, a former Global Touring Car champion as well. He's got a train of cars forming behind him as well. Daryl Bennett and Darren Goosey are right there together as well. So we could see some action for 6th position before the end of the race. And I'm just saying, as he's gone into turn 1, he's locking the rear tyres there as well. So might be struggling for tyres.
I think Pengelly's just started to close the gap up to Stevens ever so slightly. 2 seconds now.
Well? It is. He's done a 123.1 on that last lap and a 123.7 for Dan. And over the last 3 laps, yes, he's closed it down to 2.2 seconds now. Van Jaarsveld is now 8.6 seconds back in 3rd position. But Pengelly's still got this in him from the looks of it. He can certainly see Dan Stevens' car now, just crossing the start-finish straight as he goes over the crest of the hill into turn 1. Stevens is just hitting the apex in turn 1 now. Lap 15 out of 18, so I'm just wondering if Dan's feeling the pressure on that front right. He did allude to having issues with the tyre in the qualifying interview.
Yeah, definitely. But I tell you what, boys, it's gonna be on here. We're looking at about a 5-second gap between Bert Van Jay and Kai Turner, and Kai's almost a second lap quicker, so it could be on at the back end here.
Yeah, 3 laps remaining, is it? 4 laps remaining.
Yeah, about 3
this one.
laps.
Yeah, still time to do so. 13.1 seconds off the lead is Kai Turner now. 7.7 off the lead is Bert. So 4 seconds between them there.
We've also got Clark, Bennett and Goosey squabbling for 6th place at the moment.
Ooh, and that looks like a good one as well. We've just got Clark on screen now. Daryl Bennett's right up the back of that cool drive Commodore. It looks like he's losing traction on the exit of the corners there. We just watched the car shake its head as he applied the power. Goosey's ran a little bit wide there as well.
Oh, he had a big lock up on the way into the corkscrew there, did Norman Clark.
Yeah, just caught that as well, and Bennett's trying to take advantage. He's taking a tighter line through there, run out a little bit wide. He's going to try and make it for and a lock up again from Clark.
You really see Norman's really pushing these tyres. They're all massive. There'll be a mark on that tyre.
Oh, here we go. He's alongside. No, he's going to drop back in, but he should be able to get a run into turn 1, you would think.
Now,
Clark's
Ben
got
just was clearly in sight here of Turner. And Stevens inside of Pengelly as well.
Yeah, 1.5 seconds the gap to the lead at the moment. I would suggest that Dan's front right is hanging on for dear life at this point.
By the steel pins, I think you'll find, Steve. And this is the greatest thing about this league, Steve, is anywhere you look, there's a battle.
And look at this, there's traffic in front as well. Wayne there, who's had to make a pit stop as well at some point during the race. So we're on the last lap now. Dan Stevens crosses the start-finish straight with a 1.6 second lead from Pengelly. Traffic right in front of him as well, so this could cost him a couple of tenths through here. Depends where he catches the car.
It's not over for the podium as well. Kai Turner is caught right up to Bert Van Dursfield.
Massive move under brake.
Oh, they're banging and banging here as well. Look at this. Don't know where to look, guys. It's 1.1 seconds between the leaders. But this is the closest battle. It's less than a tenth of a second.
Actually, I think it's less than a coat of paint.
Turner's going for the move down the inside as well. Van Jorsfield holds it out. Oh, and he's through.
Oh, sensational.
No, he's not through.
Oh, that was close.
Two hard heads going at it there.
If they make contact for a second time this race.
0.6 seconds the gap to first and second, guys. 0.4 seconds to first and second. So it's going on at the front as well. Kai's made a little bit of a mistake there. Oh, and coming into the final corner, Pengelly's right on the rear end of the number 1 car as well. Dan Stevens crossed the line to take the win, and Bert has pulled out enough of a gap, I think, to be able to go through there. Wow, that was close at the end for the win and for 3rd place on the podium.
Tell you what, the top 4 was a sensational battle there in the last lap.
Oh, it all came
Reminds me of
together pretty
Van Gisbergen and Whincup.
Goosey's still trying to find a way past Clark for 7th place now.
Yeah.
I don't think he's quite going to get it.
Just got it. It looks like the dark. Ooh,
Well, he had a little look there.
Final corner move coming up. I'm telling you, watch this.
Throw one around the outside. Oh, hello.
Yeah.
I think no one's got the traction out of there.
Yeah, you couldn't get the traction out of that line. Daryl Bennett managed to get himself through there. So there we go. First, Dan Stevens. Second, Wayne Pengelly. Third, Bert Van Jorsfield. Fourth, Kai Turner. Fifth, Colin Bruns. Sixth, Darrell Bennett. Seventh, Norman Clark. Eighth, Darren Goosey. Ninth, Trevor Dixon. Wayne Dare 10th. And Ian Hannon after that accident 11th. Matthew Mites as the only DNF. Whew.
Also, just looking at the timing there, boys. If you have a look, Kai Turner on the second last lap has thrown down a 22.2, the fastest lap of the race.
That is stunning. Just watching Stevens getting the car back to the pits. I can guess he's happy with the way he's lighting up the rears. Well, that wasn't a bad race at all in the end. Not bad.
Look, Steve, that was you could not ask for anything better for the first broadcast of the new season.
Definitely. So let's get the top three down for the post-race interview. And Chris, we'll let you take it.
Oh, wonderful.
Say again, Colin?
I'll restart the warm-up so we don't lose the real road.
Welcome to first, second and third to the post-race interview. Well done, all three of you. Over to you, Chris.
Dan, yeah, it's Chris in comms. Well, first of all, what must have you been thinking when you saw Kai and Bert come together on that second lap?
Yeah, well, you don't want to. When I saw Kai actually end up inside Bert's car, I thought it was definitely a lag issue. But I thought to myself, hang on, head down, foot down, let's get going.
And you came under a little bit of pressure from Wayne towards the end there.
Yeah, just a bit. I pushed hard for the whole race and burnt my tyres out pretty bad. But I think Wayne must have slayed off a little bit and then pushed hard at the end. One more lap and he would have got me.
So it was close on the tyres then. Is that something you're a little bit worried about for the second race?
Yeah, just a little bit. I'm glad I'm going to be doing one of the stints. It's going to be on the hard tyres because those softs aren't lasting very long at all.
Well, we'll move on to Wayne then. Wayne, great second place. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Obviously, like Dan predicted, left me run a little bit too late, but that's why he's got the number one on his car. He's a champ for a reason. So,
did you not think maybe you could just jab one in at the final corner there, perhaps?
I did think about it, mate. I just didn't get a good run out of the corkscrew and then the last couple of corners, so it wasn't worth even looking.
Well, it was a good battle in the end. So, we'll move on to Bert Van Jersfield then. And, well, first of all, how did you see the incident with Turner?
Well, I think it was in the corkscrew or just coming out of it. He was still meters ahead of me, and next minute I'm inside his car. And bouncing around, going crazy everywhere, and I thought, oh, this is the end of it.
Well, you managed to pull it back fantastically. You've done some great moves there.
Yeah, I just put eyes forward, like they say, and I just tried my best. I hope the tires lasted.
Did you think when you had that collision, you'd end up back on the podium?
No, I didn't think that. First thing I looked for was damage, and luckily, no damage.
Well, good stuff, mate. Congratulations.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, well done, the top three. Congratulations, and we'll talk to you again later.
Cheers, Steve. Thanks, guys.
Cheers, Steve.
So, fantastic finish there to that race. You could only dream of what it would have been if the incident between Turner and Van Jorsfield hadn't happened as well. Those two definitely looked like they were going to go at it for the whole race. But perfect start to the pre-season for Dan. Number one on the car, takes the win.
Yeah, definitely. I think you hit nail on the head there. It would have been interesting. I think we've been robbed of a spectacle between Turner and Van Jersfield, because without the incident there, I think you find that those two battle it out. But it also gave us a chance to see Stevens and Pengelly have a crack at it too.
Definitely, yeah. And Wayne was closing down at a rate of knots, as he said there. I think he just misjudged his run a little bit too much. If he had gone a lap or two earlier and put the pressure on Dan, he might have had a chance, especially if the tires were gone on the number one car.
Definitely. I think even half a lap was going to be probably what he finds himself falling short there.
Absolutely. Well, that's all we've got time for today. So thanks to Chris and Troy, and we'll catch you again in 2 weeks' time at our next race. So look out on Racing-Leagues.com for further information. Watch the Twitter and Facebook feeds as well, and we'll keep you all informed. So thanks, guys, and good day.